What's up, everyone? How's it going? What is up? Hold on. What is up, Carol, Matthew, Gunner Girl, Tammy? Heather, whatever. How's everyone doing while we wait for people to trickle in? Julianne, what is up? We'll wait a few minutes for people to trickle in. How's everyone doing? While we're waiting, I'm going to talk a little bit about some movie news. The one movie I'm actually kind of excited for is coming out or is in theaters now, and it's part of the Pooniverse. It's where it makes Bambi horrified. Bambi the Reckoning is here. It is out in theaters now. I don't care how cheesy it is. I actually I did kind of see there's a trailer out there. I haven't seen like the updated trailer. I kind of saw like a little teaser trailer, and I get it. Bambi's gonna be CGI'd, but I'm here for it because it's something different. It's better than I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's better than, like, in my opinion, another what was it, Final Destination. They're remaking Amityville. I saw there's the Crystal Lake series that has been talked about for so long that I think people have lost interest in it now. Well, at least I have. But I'm all down for something different, and I know a lot of times when there's different movies people don't go watch, they'll go watch what they know, and that's why there's 20 of a certain there's 20 movies of a certain, Friday the 13th, Halloween. Like, we don't need any more. We need something different, something new. But again, I don't blame them for putting them out, because that's what makes them money. You know what I mean? These lower budgeted films kind of don't, but a lot of times it's those lesser known films that actually are kind of the greatest films. Delea, what is up? Julissa, how's it going? So I am super excited for Bambi the Reckoning. Don't ask me why I'm so excited for it. I know it's going to be cheese, but I did see an article. I didn't read it. I just kind of saw a title that someone from Bloody Disgusting actually liked it. So maybe there is some promise. Maybe it is promising, and maybe it's actually not what I'm thinking it is. But obviously, I mean, I'm going to go into it with low expectations. Probably is low budget. Like the first Blood and Honey was. I still have to see the second one. I have not brought myself to see it. But I give it props, like I said, because it's something different. It's not the same old. Also, too, I saw that Megan 2.0 is out on VOD already. I think it bombed. I've been seeing articles where that it hasn't done so well. But if you are that type of person that likes buying VOD, it is out. I'll probably wait for it to come on a streaming service to check it out. One thing I have to have, as we're waiting for people to trickle in, I'm going to go through some of my articles here. Even if you're not a gamer, this is super cool, and I'm a huge fan of Hellraiser. So I was able to see this trailer for this game. It looks badass. I'm super excited. I'm not like a cat. Like, I used to play games a lot of I used to be like a frequent gamer. Like, I used to play games a lot, but now I don't really have time. Work takes up a lot of my time, and stuff like that. But oh my god, I don't care if I'm a gamer. I have to have this game. Doug Bradley does return as Pinhead. It just looks amazing for a game. I believe it's going to be on Steam, PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. If you guys haven't seen this trailer, check it out. It's for Clive Barker's Hellraiser revival. After the mysterious tease last week, Saber Interactive and Boss Team Games have opened the box with Clive Barker's Hellraiser Revival, a new single-player game coming to PC via Steam, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. The new story-driven action survival horror title drags players into a twisted nightmare where players will come face-to-face with the legendary Pinhead, with actor Doug Bradley returning to the role for the first time in nearly 2 decades. I mean, it's not going to be his face, but it's going to be his voice. So I'm super excited for this. Working on the first true Hellraiser game has been a venture deep into the recesses of my darkest imagining, said Clive Barker, creator of Hellraiser, who has assisted the developers with crafting the game's unique story. The dedication that Saber and Boss Team Games have shown is nothing short of remarkable. Clive Barker's statement continues, they've immersed themselves in the Hellraiser universe, capturing its essence, the seductive pull of suffering, the beauty within the grotesque, and forged a narrative that invites players to step beyond the threshold. I'm eager for both the curious and the damned to experience this new chapter in the Hellraiser mythos, where every moment balances on the brink of nightmare and revelation. Players take on the role of Aiden, who must unlock the dark powers of a mysterious puzzle box known as the Genesis configuration in order to help his girlfriend from a hellish abyss. As Aiden, you harness the box's infernal's ability to survive your pack with the sinister Pinhead and battle against the twisted cult that worships him and the Cenobites. And yes, all the Cenobites show up, and I was like, Butterball, Cheddar. Yeah, and they are in there in their full glory, even though it's all computer generated, but still, it's still cool. Fail and you'll face legendary suffering. In addition to the standard digital edition of Hellraiser Revival, there will be 2 special collector's editions of the game, which are on pre-order at the moment from Boss Team Games. Will be available for pre-order from Boss Team Games. They include an exclusive version of the Hellraiser puzzle box with a unique illumination effect inspired by the game, plus a special Hellraiser statue to display it on, as well as other officially licensed collectibles that have been created especially for these limited editions. More information can be found at the Boss Team website. I was so kind of tempted to get this, but it is kind of pricey. I did see that it was like $129. I mean, I know this isn't the Lament configuration from the movies, but it's kind of close and it looks super cool. I guess in the game they call it the Genesis configuration. But I cannot. Oh my god! Sorry, I did not see this part. That statue is freaking badass. That's like the Tower of Souls from the I think it was the third one. No, third one. Yeah, third one. Oh my god! I may have to. I may. Sorry, guys. I got super excited. But if you guys want to check out that trailer, it is on YouTube. It is on YouTube, and it freaking looks amazing, and I cannot wait for it. And it does have the Cenobites as well, not just only Pinhead, and it looks amazing. I was like, I have to have it. I don't care. I have to have it. I think a bunch of people are going to be buying it, even if they're not a gamer, because it looks amazing. It's for any Hellraiser fan for sure. D-Nice, what is up? The one thing I couldn't believe that they were making a second one of is In a Violent Nature. If you guys aren't familiar with this film, it is on Shudder. It's a Shudder original. It's a slasher. It got a bunch of hype, and of course I'm like, okay, so what's this hype about? So I decided to check it out. It honestly it was overrated. I'm going to give my honest opinion on this. It was overrated. I did not like it. It was in the point of view of the killer. So there was no excitement. There was no anticipation. There was no, like, you already knew what was going to happen. So there was nothing like, you knew when someone was going to be killed. So there was nothing like, no excitement to it at all. So the fact that they're making a second one, I was like, what the? But they are making a second one. If you guys, it was overhyped. Like, I think that's the reason why it made money, because the trailer did look interesting. I'm going to give it that one, but the film felt short. It was something different. I do give it that. But the fact that it was in the point of view of the killer, it gave away everything. Like, there was no anticipation, no excitement, no, oh my God, you kind of know when you watch these films, you kind of know who's going to be killed anyways. But still, like, the fact that you're watching through the killer's eyes kind of like gives it kind of, it leaves you flat. And so I guess In a Violent Nature 2 filming starts date for this fall. And Chris Nash is once again writing the film script. So this was the killer in A Violent Nature. Awesome design, awesome concept. Kind of similar to Friday the 13th. I think that's kind of how they marketed it. And so everyone was like, oh, really? We finally have some news on the sequel to In a Violent Nature. Variety announced that the sequel to Chris Nash's slasher hit will begin production in September, with filming taking place in an unspecified location in Canada. Nash is writing the sequel to the film, though it hasn't been confirmed whether he'll return as director. In a Violent Nature 2 was announced just about a year ago, with IFC Films and Shudder revealing that the film was in development at San Diego Comic-Con after its runaway success at Sundance Film Festival and then in the theaters. I don't know who thought this film was good, because it wasn't. But to each his own. In a Violent Nature demonstrated that there continues to be a yearning for new perspectives in the horror landscape. We knew immediately that this distinctive take on the slasher would enthrall fans, and are glad to see the community embrace a new slasher icon in Johnny. Scott Schumann, head of AMC Network's film group, said at the time, with the sequel, we aim to prove that Johnny could be bigger, meaner, and kills can only get more impressive. Few details about the sequel are available outside of Schumann's statement, though we do know that Pete Kluplowski and Shannon Hammer are producing the film, with Emily Gatto, Nicholas Lazo, and Samuel Zimmerman overseeing development for Shudder. So if you guys have Shudder, I think it's still on there. And if you want to check it out, don't knock a film unless you see it. I know a lot. I don't tend to, even if someone says it's bad, I will still give it a gander. Because I like to see for myself. So even if I say something's bad, give it a chance. For yourself, you may like it. I may have different tastes than you, but I honestly did not like it at all. And I love slashers. Slashers happen to be my favorite subgenre. And A Violent Nature was originally conceived as a meta sequel within a fictional slasher series, so we were always imagining mayhem beyond the scope of original film. Kluplowski said that we now have the opportunity to continue following Johnny on his restless walk. And no, I don't want to get a free magazine, even though Fangoria is awesome. Has us feeling incredibly grateful to our incredible partners at IFC Films, Shudder, who believed in Chris's vision from day one. We are thrilled to return for a new chapter and are excited to deploy Johnny as a conduit to further experiments in the genre. No release date has been announced for In a Violent Nature 2. So there is a second one coming. I don't know how I feel about that, but it is what it is. Matthew says there is a comedy music with horror movie parody songs. They have a Pinhead song called Man in the Box, a parody of Alice in Chains song. Oh, that's pretty cool. From the Merkins, the guys dress up like Pinhead in the song. Julia goes, I do not think Lisa likes. No, I don't. I did not like that film. I honestly, it wasn't as bad as Sinners. Because at least In a Violent Nature, I kind of wanted to finish watching it. Sinners, I wanted to stop it. Sinners, when I saw it, it is on HBO Max. Sinners, it was a slow burn. I wanted to turn it off. There was literally no, I know it's a vampire film, I can give you that much. There was no vampires until like the end of the film. Um, and it was just, yeah. So, I mean, Sinners, I wanted to turn off, but I was trying to finish it because I wanted to be able to talk about it. And I was like, yeah, nice Shutter. If you guys don't have Shutter, it is very affordable. It's only $5.99 a month, and it does have. I mean, there's also Screenbox, but I prefer actually like Shutter better than Screenbox. But because Shutter kind of has those like unique movies. It does have other movies on it too, but I feel like it has unique movies like some of those ones that you'd never hear of, like Tubi has as well. And Tubi's a free app. You don't have to pay for that one, but it has like these weird movies that you've never heard of. If you're into watching movies, like to see something different besides Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Final, I Know What You Did Last Summer, all those movies that keep coming out. Strangers like has like 4 of them. I don't know how many movies The Strangers has. And then you had, what was that? What the heck was the name of that movie? I'm brain farting. The Purge. There was a lot of Purge movies, but I enjoyed every single one of them. I don't know why. That movie, I enjoyed every single one of them. Even though you knew what the premise of the movie is, every movie you went into, there was the same premise. So, I mean, you kind of knew what it is, but there was something about that film that I just liked. VHS, which is also on Shutter. It is kind of my yearly thing because every October they do come out with a VHS. The last VHS that I saw, there were, if you're not familiar with VHS on Shutter, not the movie VHS. I feel like the movie VHS is completely different than what it is now. It's different. It's like different movies in one. So they have a theme. I guess this year's theme is Halloween, and it's coming out in October. I know last year's, I can't remember the name of it. But it's like 6 different, I don't remember how many, but it's like different episodes within it. Some of them are good, some of them are like okay, some of them are cheesy. But I always I'm looking forward to this. I know there's a gazillion VHSs, but VHS Halloween is coming in October from director Paco Plaza, Alex Ross, Perry, Casper Kelly, and more. VHS Halloween, the 8th installment in the found footage anthology franchise, will be released on Shutter. Hold on, I keep moving it with my mouse. October 3rd, 2025, Variety has learned. It will feature segments directed by Brian M. Ferguson, Casper Kelly, Michelin Pitt Norman, R.H. Norman, Alex Ross Perry, Paco Plaza, and Anna Zokovic. This series launched in 2012. To be honest with you, the VHS original I call it like the original VHS. So the 2012 VHS is completely different than these VHSs that are coming out. I feel like the earlier VHSs are kind of like scary. What the F moments. But the newer ones are a little different. Like they had VHS 85. VHS Beyond was last year's. Then there was VHS 99, VHS 94, VHS Viral. And I feel like they kind of just, whoo! They kind of went a little overboard with them, I think. VHS has always been a springboard for new and up-and-coming filmmakers. Actress Kate Siegel, who made her directorial debut in VHS Beyond, told Variety it's a unique situation where you are part of a team, but you're also an individual, so you have the support of established franchise, but their mission is to give new filmmakers creative control. So if you guys are a fan of VHS, October 3rd, Shutter, they have a new one, Halloween. They are. It's something different, so it's something I always look forward to. D Nice goes, VHS. I have a drawer in my room of all my VHS tapes. As always, guys, thank you, Carl, for reminding me. Skeleduck is somewhere in this background. Just remind me at the end of the stream, and I'll reveal his location. If you don't know who or what the hell I'm talking about, he is, hold on, let me get the right screen. He is pictured in my upper right-hand corner, might be your upper left-hand corner. That is what he looks like, and it is not the one that's behind my pole right here. That is his brother that goes to the gym that has remained nameless. I have not named him yet, but he is somewhere in this background, and just remind me at the end of the stream. So, to get back at Squid Game, so is it real? I heard, I have not seen season 3. I didn't finish the previous seasons, and I heard that season 3 wasn't that great by a few people. I have not seen it yet. I kind of fell off the wagon. The second part of, I think it, what was it, season 2 started. I saw the first episode and I never went back to it. Not to say that was bad, because it wasn't. But I heard the third was kind of bad. But it was still something that I remember seeing on Netflix when I was scrolling. I was like, why not? Let's give this a try. And I was like, holy crap, this is, amazing. It is in Korean, so if you guys don't like reading subtitles or not in the mood for reading subtitles, I would wait when you're in the mood for it to watch it. Don't use they do have a dub version, but the voices do not match the actors. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of those old kung fu movies, but worse. At least I felt like with the old kung fu movies, at least the voice kind of matched the actor, kind of. Not quite, but kind of. Like, this is completely like, I don't know, they just didn't care whose voice they used for the actor. Like, they didn't even try, I felt like. So, but they do have an American dub version if you guys haven't checked it out, and it is on Netflix. But is it true? It is not true. It is fictional, but it is inspired by true events. And what event is that, you ask? D Nice goes, I'm good. I know, like, if you have T-Mobile, I think Netflix is free on T-Mobile, if I'm not mistaken. I saw somewhere when I was going through my thing. D Nice goes, Kung Fu Hustle is the only movie I will watch dub. I'm starting to appreciate those old Kung Fu movies now, seeing how things are dubbed now. So, what the heck? Oh. Is Squid Game a true story? What to know about the violent South Korean strike that inspired Player 456 story? A former Sing Young employee recognized similarities between the real historical events and fictional series. It is a fictional event. There is no game to the death type of thing. Unfortunately, no, I'm just kidding. Unfortunately, I think it would be inhumane if there was actual, like an actual game like that. But it does show the lengths that, or the desperation and the lengths that people will go through to help pay their debt. You know what I mean? People will do anything when it comes to money. I hate to say it. Squid Game is a dystopian nightmare for its players that derives from real life events. The South Korean show's third and final season dropped on June 27th on Netflix. It featured the conclusion of Seong Ji-hun, Lee Jung-jae's story, a character whose backstory was based on the Sang. Oh my God, why did they put an ad right there while I was reading? Based on the Sang-young motor strike, the series highlights just how much people are capable of sacrificing and enduring for financial gain, a goal that happens via deadly children's games. In June of 2025 interview In a June 2025 interview with the New York Times, creator Wang Dong-hook said he believes the series became a streaming sensation because we touched something in the zeitgeist through Squid Game. I'm probably butchering. The sense of urgency, the sense of crisis that weighs heavily on people's daily lives. It allows anyone to easily relate to Ji-hun. He continued that I tackled the issue of society's limitless competition through children's games that contrast appeal to a lot of people. Throughout the series, viewers witness Ji-hun's financial and social struggles as his dramatic past is alluded to. While the character's turmoil is a work of fiction, the actual historical moments that inspired it are not. Here's everything to know about how Squid Game was inspired by true events. Is Squid Game based on a true story? Squid Game is not based on a true story, but it was inspired by the Sangyeong motor strike, a real event from South Korean history that turned violent. The ordeal was the basis for Ji-hun's original origin story. In a 2021 Agent France Press interview, Wang revealed that by referencing the strike, he wanted to show that any ordinary middle-class person in the world we live in today can fall to the bottom of the economic ladder overnight. I think viewers around the world deeply relate to the themes of economic inequality portrayed in Squid Games, the creator added. But if you were in the position that those characters were in Squid Games, would you guys do it? Would you guys do the actual games in hopes of winning a bunch of money and then all your problems will go away, like your financial problems will go away? What was the Sangyeong motor strike? According to People's Dispatch, the incident unfolded when China's Shanghai Automotive Industry Corporation filed for bankruptcy in January of 2009. The company had a controlling stake in South Korea's Sangyeong Motor Company, and the bankruptcy resulted in mass layoffs for Sangyeong. In the weeks after, about 2,000 workers resigned from the company voluntarily, per the New York Times. Sangyeong then announced in April of 2009 that it would cut 36% of its remaining workforce, including but all 970 workers from the plant in Yeongtaek, South Korea. The following month, factory workers mounted a sit-in that lasted 77 days, which led to violent and fiery clashes with police. People's Dispatch called the conflict among the most fierce workers struggles South Korea has witnessed in almost 2 decades. When the strike started, there were originally over 900 participants, but that number dwindled after a court order was issued to end the event and the police turned off the factory's water, according to the New York Times. Workers striking were subjected to rubber bullets and tasers by the police, per the Japanese Times. How did it end? After 77 days, the sit-in ended at the plant, which had virtually become a war zone. A deal between the union and Sangyeong management was struck, resulting in the company retaining 48% of the factory jobs. Despite the tension, the union and management signaled that most of the strike's participants' roles would be saved. Still, some employees face consequences for taking part in the event, according to labor notes. The striking workers were blackballed from employment with other large Korean companies. Unable to find jobs and having to pay fines for their union activity, they went into financial debt, which resulted in the workers' wages and assets being seized by the courts. As the outlet reported, 13 Sangyeong workers and family members passed away by as a result of the anti-union repression between 2009 and 2011. Between 2009 and 2018, another 30 Sangyeong workers did the same thing for similar reasons. Unfortunately, others are also reportedly died by stress-related issues from the fallout, per the Korean Herald. So how did the Sangyeong motor strike inspired Squid Game? The strike inspired Squid Game's main protagonist, Ji-hun's storyline. In the first episode of the series, it is revealed that 10 years ago, Ji-hun was laid off from an assembly job at Dragon Motor, a car manufacturer plant. Dragon Motor is seemingly a nod to Samsung, which translates to double dragons in English. Like at the Samsung factory, Ji-hung and his co-workers went on strike, which resulted in a violent clash with the police, a scene briefly depicted in episode 5 of Squid Game's first season. I don't even remember that. What have the Samsung motor strike said about Squid Games? In December of 2024, Lee Chang-kung, a former Samsung motor employee and union leader who participated in the strike, told oh my god, I'm getting tongue twisted. The Japan Times that Squid Game's instant streaming success left him feeling empty and frustrated. When season 1 premiered, it felt like the story of the Samsung workers had been reduced to a comedy, and the series explained many have lost their lives. People had to suffer for too long. I kind of get why he's trying to say that, because a lot of people, I mean, Squid Game blew up like all of a sudden when it first came out, and to actually live the actual event that was inspired by it, and to see that it was how it came out, I get it. I get how he could say that. Chang Kung continued, we were seen as incompetent breadwinners and outdated labor activists who had lost their minds. Police kept beating us even after we fell unconscious. This happened at our workplace, and it was broadcast for so many to see. As for the show's storyline, in November of 2021, featured for Jacobin, Chang Kung wrote how the order of games in Squid Game resembles the phases of agony Samsung workers had to undergo. Indeed, the plot appears to be inspired by the 77-day occupation. Out of the blue, we were left with no option but to squat at the factory. We first attempted to turn to each other to survive together, he continued. However, we were thrown into a life or death situation, often with no other option but to betray and dupe each other. Like the characters in Squid Game, Chang Kun recalled how the Sang-young employees each had to hurt our closest friends. He added, by the time the police raided the strike, there were only about 700 of us left, and mistrust of our coworkers nearly outweighed our trust. While their story may now be more widely recognized globally, Chang Kung told the Japan Times that it hasn't had a significant impact on the South Korean workforce practices. Despite being widely discussed and consumed, it is disappointed that we have not channeled these conversations into more beneficial outcomes, he said. Was Squid Game inspired by anything else? The Samsung motor strike inspired Squid Game, but so did some pieces of pop culture. In September of 2021 interview with Variety, Wang said he also drew ideas from Japanese comics and anime. When I started, I was in a financial straits myself and spent much time in cafes reading comics, including Battle Royale and Liar Game, he recalled. Wang continued, I came to wonder how I'd feel if I took part in the games myself, but I found the games too complex, and for my own work, focused instead on using kids' games. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health challenges, emotional distress, substance use problems, or just need to talk, call or text 988 or chat at 988lifeline.org, which is open 24/7. So it is kind of cool. I mean, obviously it's not going to be real. I didn't think it was real, but the fact that it is inspired by true events, which a lot of movies are, even Scream is inspired by true events, but they do take liberties and they do kind of make it on their own. So I understand somebody that actually actually participated in the strike, seeing Squid Games, can feel about it. I totally understand that. But the guy that created Squid Games, nobody wanted it. I've read articles where nobody wanted his story. And he was basically, I think he was living with his mom, like not, having financial troubles and stuff like that. And then finally, I think Netflix picked it up, and it just blew up. Kimberly Ann, what is up? Heather, whatever goes terrible, such scary in real life story. It is. That's scary. A lot of people lost their lives. But I have not seen season 3. I don't know if I'm going to see it. It is on my list. I'll probably eventually get to it. I just, like I said, work has gotten away with me and I haven't had a chance. Matthew goes, I never did, but I've seen Squidward. And then we also have Halloween season is upon us because that's August is when Halloween starts, kind of. Technically, I think that's when everyone starts celebrating Halloween is in August, because that's when Spirit Halloween start to open up and stuff like that. So I am getting super excited because we're getting into spooky season. D Nice goes 10 years later. I do want the doll though from Squid Game. I have the Funko Pop, but she's down. I think I have her down there somewhere. I have her somewhere. I don't know where I put her. Heather, whatever goes. I heard Dollar Trees has Halloween things. I know. A lot of the stores start putting Halloween stuff as well, but I don't think it officially starts going up until September. I think it's September because I'm trying to remember retail when we put all the Halloween stuff up. But I always enjoyed seeing all the stuff that we got, so I didn't mind doing the Halloween stuff. D-Nice goes, giving me more ideas, Lisa. D-Nice go, I swear you're going to get a big box minus Chucky. Heather, whatever goes, candy corn, everyone hates more for me. Yeah, a lot of people don't. I don't mind candy corn, but it's not my favorite. Like, I'll eat it. I like black licorice, and a lot of people don't like black licorice, so that's another thing. Oh my God, Matthew, I remember that's hilarious. When I learned how to drive, I always think that. He goes, Starman, red light stop, green light go, yellow light go very fast. Like, I remember the words, but I forget what movie it comes from whenever, because I was so young when it came out. But I always, when I'm at a stoplight, I always think of that line. I think that's an iconic line. D-Dice goes, mocha candy corn, I am behind. That actually sounds good. All right, guys, I am going to open it up for questions. I'll give you a few minutes to look for Skeleduck. Matthew goes, NECA has a Chucky at the beach figure. I know this weekend, as well as San Diego Comic-Con, I did look at some of the Funko Pops, and I was like, it's kind of like this year, it's kind of like a dud, I think, with Funko Pops. Like, I don't see one I like. usually there's one Funko Pop from San Diego Comic-Con I like. The last year was Godzilla, and yeah, last year it was Godzilla, so I got the Godzilla. But this year I was looking, I don't like any of them. I was like, whoa, this year is kind of like a dud. Even the bags that they have, usually there's like a bag or two I like. Nothing this year. But it is this weekend in San Diego. If you guys are in the area, you could still drive down. There's stuff you could do outside without having passes. D Nice goes, Wreck-It Ralph, Children of the Candy Corn. I want that to be more into a movie. I haven't seen that yet, Matthew. So maybe that hasn't popped in. I've only seen like the Funko and the bags, but Matthew goes San Diego Comic-Con Hasbro has the Ecto Glow Ecto 1 from Real Ghostbusters that glows in the dark. They also have the 84 Ghostbusters Proton Pack to see there. Oh, super cool. Comic-Con is cool. Like, if you've never gone, it's cool. The only thing is, it's like it gets so crowded inside on the convention floor, like you literally cannot move. Like, that's how bad it is. And that's the one thing I don't miss about it. But if you've never gone, it is an experience. It is super cool to see. There's a lot of vendors there as well. I mean, unfortunately, like, I never was able to get a Funko Pop because they had it on a ticket system. It probably still is. But luckily now you can kind of look and find them on eBay for decent price. Like, I got this one for last year for not too much. Heather whatever goes, I haven't been to Comic-Con for years. My brother went to the very first one. Oh, that's super cool. D Nice goes, Comic-Con was great with the Nintendo DS with street passing. I wish I could. They have glow in the dark real Ghostbusters. There are some things that they have that are just exclusive to Comic-Con. I mean, now I guess Funko puts them online, but you could buy them from Funko. But the problem is, when you do buy them from Funko, they don't have the sticker. It says Summer Convention Series sticker, but if you get it at Comic-Con, it actually has the Comic-Con sticker on it. So, I mean, this is where, if you want a Comic-Con actual Funko Pop, you want the sticker. But you can get this through Funko. I mean, this was from last year, but like, say, I'm just using an example, but you could get this off of Funko, but the sticker is going to be different. Emily Parkinson, thank you for gifting one membership. Thank you, Emily Parkinson. Hearts for Emily Parkinson. And welcome, Heather whatever, back to the Wolf Pack. Hearts for Emily Parkinson. Thank you. Yeah, they do, Matthew. If they don't sell out, they'll put them on online. Hasbro Pulse. I'm getting tongue twisted. Like, I have 2 of them that are Comic-Con ones. I didn't get them at Comic-Con, but I have 2 of them. Like, I have this one too with the Comic-Con sticker. Because it's like impossible unless you get like invited to get a Funko Pop from them. Thank you, Matthew. But they're right here. I have them set up right there. Thank you, Julissa. All right, guys, real quick. Skeleduck is right there, right where my finger is pointing. He's right behind the elf that is lifting weights, is trying to get his weight on, or I don't know how you call it, his pump on. There you go, his pump on. It is right there. You could see him kind of sticking out right behind the elf or the gnome. It's actually a gnome getting his pump on. Right there, right where my finger is pointed, is where Skeleduck is. Right there. All right, guys, any last minute questions before I end this stream? Forever. This week has been crazy. Before I end, this week has been crazy. We lost Ozzy Osbourne. Crazy. It kind of Ozzy Osbourne. I know I didn't post anything on social media, but it kind of it's close to my heart because he had Parkinson's and my dad passed away. Will be 5 years in August. from complications to Parkinson's. My dad was a year older than Ozzy Osbourne when he passed. And it is fast like that. I mean, you would think, wow, that's quick. All of a sudden, it is fast like that. My dad, I wasn't in Ozzy's life, so I don't know what happened from the time he did the benefit concert to now to the time he passed. But when the weeks before my dad passed, his dementia was getting worse. He fell, and he I think he hit his head, and then I remember like he didn't wake up after that, and his dementia was getting worse prior to that. And he didn't wake up after that. He stopped eating, stopped everything. I'm going to mention Hulk 2 in a minute. And so I don't know if that was the same for him, because I know everyone's different, but it is close to my heart, and I do feel for the family. It is sudden. 76, I feel like, is too young. 77, when my dad passed, is too young. We lost Michael Jamal Warner, who was in the Cosby Show. I grew up watching the Cosby Show. He was young too, 54. I mean, life is not, you got to take each day as your last. Like, you got to live, because it's not guaranteed. And then now today, Hulk, come on. It's like all these, he was 71, too young to die. I feel like 77, in your 70s, you still have a lot of life to live. You do. I always felt like my dad would live long into his 80s. And it's crazy. It's crazy. There's other people that I did notice passed away as well. There's a jazz musician, I believe, too. He was 84, but yes, Chuck Mangione, thank you. There's other people that passed away, but unfortunately, because of the people that passed away, they got kind of swept in between the lines. So I do feel for those people and those families as well that have lost someone, because it's all of a sudden, and it's rough, and it makes you appreciate life. It makes you appreciate your health. It makes you appreciate, breathing more after seeing all this, because your life is not, it's not, you could die tomorrow. So it's crazy. It's crazy to think that we lost a bunch of icons this week, that I've grown up with, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have grown up too. So my hearts go out to all the family members of Ozzy, of Hulk, of Malcolm and Chuck Mangione, and all the other ones that have lost their lives, that was kind of lost in the whirlwind. Exactly, Carol. Life is not guaranteed. And I see people going, oh, please don't take Chuck Norris from us, or there's people that are, just, voicing their opinions. They're like, oh, I don't want to hear Harrison Ford, Chuck Norris, or someone else going. And I've seen a lot of comments saying it comes in threes, but it's been more than 3 people that have passed. But I've heard it before. It comes in threes. Like bad luck comes in threes. Whatever comes, death comes in threes. So I have seen a lot of people mention that in the posts, and it is sad. Michael J. Fox, he's been living with Parkinson's for forever, and you could see the decline with him as well. But the fact that he's been alive this long with it is amazing, because my dad, I think he was diagnosed within 5 years. I think it was the same amount. I think when was Ozzy diagnosed? Like in 2000? I know I'm going like off kilter, but I'm at the end here. So it was quick. And it's something I don't want anyone to go through or anyone to see. It's not, it's to see someone that you looked up to and was the jack of all trade, to go to someone that didn't even know how to use a TV remote. And I know I've said this in the past, but it's just, it's heartbreaking. It really is. And I'm glad that I had the relationship I had with my dad. And I'm glad that I was able to see him the day before he passed. I also I also told my dad, if you want to go, you could go. You know, I don't want to see my dad like that. I don't think anybody would want to. And I do miss my dad every day. I felt like it was unexpected. It was, I felt like it for the longest was just me and my dad because my mom had passed away, 20 years earlier. So, so for him to be gone, it was like a real shock. And I still miss him to this day. I am super proud to be his daughter. I will always be proud to be his daughter. And I do feel for Ozzy's family and the rest of the families for the icons that have passed this week. He did, Matthew. Ozzy had a great grand finale before he passed. He did. He gave his farewell and he was able to do that. And to be able to do that, I feel like exactly, D Nice, dude. His last show, I feel like he was like, I'm done. I'm going out in a bang. So he got his final goodbye. I think when he did that, that was when he was at peace. And that to me is like, even though we're sad to see him go, but to see that, to have his final goodbye and able to, give his goodbyes and be at peace is probably the most amazing thing you can think of when it comes to a person. It still sucks when we lose someone, but if you think of like the positive things, like he's not suffering, and that's what I tried to do. I tried to do that with both my parents that have passed. I think that they're, and for anyone out there, I know everybody grieves differently, but this is how I had done it. The last both memories of my mom and dad, I don't want to ever see. And I know like I didn't want them to be like that. And I'd rather have them not be in pain. So that is kind of how my mindset is. Like, they're at peace. They're with me, even though they're not here physically, they're with me wherever I go. And I'd rather see them. I don't want to see them in pain. D Nice goes, it was his choice to stop taking his meds. I'm happy he was surrounded by loved ones. Exactly. And even so, some of those meds make you feel horrible. It sometimes doesn't help with the actual situation. So, I mean, he went out with a bang. And if he was at peace with it, I'm at peace with it. You know what I mean? D Nice goes, they're just the little orbs in your room. Now, I don't know who those orbs are, but it probably is my past, my grandfather too, that I've never met, that passed before I was born. All right, guys, any last minute questions? I know I went off kilter at the end here, but I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on Ozzy and Hulk and Malcolm. D Nice goes, any more sightings? I've had a few. I agree, Carol. We all have good memories to remember someone who passed. I've had a few D Nice, but nothing like out of the ordinary. They're kind of pretty much the same. Matthew goes, my grandfather, my dad's dad passed a few months before I was born. My dad's dad, my grandfather passed away, I think 6 years before I was born. All right, guys. I am going to end the stream here. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Grayson Report. Thank you, Emily Parkinson, again for that gifted membership to Heather, whatever. I will see you guys on the next one. Stay spooky, sweet nightmares, and have a great rest of your weekend. And I will see you on the next one. Good night, guys, and thank you.